All glories to the Sambhadivatis, all glories to the Sambhadivatis, all glories to the Sambhadivatis, all glories to Sri Guru Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pasupatade, Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namade, Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gauravani Pacharine, Nirvesesha Sunnavadi Paschata Natarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Skanda, 20th chapter, entitled Puranjana becomes a woman in the next life. Shloka number 52. What is the number? 52. Brahmana uvacha ka tvam kasya asi kaha va ayam sayanaha yasya sochasi janasi kim sakayam mam yena agre vichacharta ha brahmana uvacha ka tvam kasyasi ko vayam sayano yasya sochasi janasi kim sakayam mam yena agre vitachartaha. Brahmana uvacha ka tvam kasyasi ko vayam sayano yasya sochasi janasi kim sakayam mam yena agre vitachartaha. Brahmana uvacha ka tvam kasyasi ko vayam sayano yasya sochasi janasi kim sakayam mam yena agre vitachartaha. Brahmana Uvacha. The learned Brahmana said, Ka, who, Tvam, you, Kasya, whose, Asi, are you, Kaha, who, Va, or, I am, this man, Sayanaha, lying down, Yasya, for whom, Sochasi, you are lamenting, Janasi Kim, do you know, Sakayam, friend, mom, me, Yena, with whom, Agre, formerly, Vichacharta, you consulted, Ha, certainly. Translation. The Brahmana inquired as follows, who are you? Whose wife or daughter are you? Who is the man lying there? Or who is the man lying here? It appears you are lamenting for this dead body. Don't you recognize me? I am your eternal friend. You may remember that many times in the past you have consulted me. Please repeat. The Brahmana inquired as follows. Who are you? Whose wife or daughter are you? Who is the man lying here? It appears you are lamenting for this dead body. Don't you recognize me? I am your eternal friend. You may remember that many times in the past you have consulted me. Purport by Zimangre Sesi Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. When a person's relative dies, renunciation is automatically visible. Consultation with the Super Soul seated within everyone's heart is possible only when one is completely free from the contamination of material attachments. One who is sincere and pure gets an opportunity to consult with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his Paramatma feature, sitting within everyone's heart. The Paramatma is always a Chaitya Guru, the spiritual master within, and he comes before one externally as the instructor or initiator, spiritual master. The Lord can reside within the heart, and he can also come out before a person and give him instructions. Thus, the spiritual master is not different from the super soul, sitting within the heart. An uncontaminated soul or living entity can get a chance to meet the Paramatma face to face, just as one gets a chance to consult with the Paramatma within his heart. One also gets a chance to see him actually situated before him. Then one can take instructions from the Super Soul directly. This is the duty of the pure devotee, to see the bona fide spiritual master and consult with the Super Soul within the heart. When the Brahmana asked the woman who the man lying on the floor was, she answered that he was her spiritual master, and that she was perplexed about what to do in his absence. At such a time, the Super Soul immediately appears, provided the devotee is purified in heart by following the directions of the spiritual master. A sincere devotee who follows the instructions of the spiritual master certainly gets direct instructions from his heart, from the Super Soul. Thus, a sincere devotee is always helped directly or indirectly by the spiritual master and the Super Soul. This is confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Guru Krishna Prasadipai Bhakti Lata Bij. If the devotee serves his spiritual master sincerely, Krishna automatically becomes pleased. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasadaha. By satisfying the spiritual master, one automatically satisfies Krishna. Thus the devotee becomes enriched by both the spiritual master and Krishna. The Supersoul is eternally the friend of the living entity and always remains with him. The Supersoul has always been ready to help the living entity even before the creation of this material world. It is therefore stated here, Yenagre Vichacharta. The word agre means before the creation. Thus the Supersoul has been accompanying the living entity since before the creation. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Sadakaya Chakshur-unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavansya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitansya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesya Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneswari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The description is given in this chapter about the Queen Vidarbhi after marrying King Maharaj. She remained very faithfully with her husband, and throughout life she was serving the husband. Then when King Maharaj became quite old enough, he relinquished the kingdom and he gave to his 7 sons the management of the kingdom. And for himself, he just left everything and departed for the forest and undergoing tapasya. He was accompanied with his wife, Puranjani. So, at the end of his life, King Maharaj Raja was lying down and he was in complete meditation, thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and about his next destination, going back home, back to Godhead. So he was completely silent and immobile in this situation of complete Krishna consciousness. So the wife could not understand exactly what was the situation, but she continued to serve her husband, whatever was necessary for her husband. She was arranging, and she was in this way in the company of her husband, even at that time. So when the husband passed away, finally, she realized that now I have to also prepare for the funeral of my husband. So she prepared the wooden stack and put husband on the wooden pyre and set a fire. In this way, the husband. So at that time she was thinking, no, I cannot be alone. I want to follow my husband. And she had decided that she will go into the fire along with her husband. That is called Sahagamana. This was described in the earlier sloka, Sahagamana. When the wife is so faithful to the husband, she doesn't have any other goal in life, she wants to remain with the husband even after death. In this way, she is accompanying the husband in all vicissitudes. But this intention of the Queen Vaidarbi is now being checked by somebody is coming, a very pious looking Brahmana, and the Brahmana is feeling very much for the situation. Why should this pious lady also go into the fire? So he is speaking to Queen Vidarbha. So he is asking question in a very careful, so that she will not be upset or angry at all. In a very polite and very compassionate manner, we see here this pious Brahmana is talking to Queen Vaidarbi. Who are you? And who is this person now, dead and lying on the funeral pyre? Can you tell me? Then he is asking, don't you recognize me? I am your old friend. Many times we had a conversation. You were asking questions. You had some doubts. You were asking me. And I gave you advice at time, many times. Why can't you recognize me? So that is the topic now for today's. The Brahmana is not ordinary person. According to this description given by Narada Muni, the Brahmana is the Supreme Lord, the Super Soul. Lord Krishna has three features as Bhagavan, Paramatma, and Brahman. So this Advaita Jnana, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti, Sadhyate. Lord Krishna is described in Srimad Bhagavatam and other Vedic texts in this manner. He has, first of all, he is the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is eternally situated in his own abode, Goloka eva nivasati akhilatma bhutaha. Sri Brahma Samhita describes the Supreme Lord as the always present in his abode, Goloka Vrindavan, and also Akhilatma Bhutaha. He is everywhere also, in the whole creation. He is situated as Paramatma in the entire creation, in the everyone's heart. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, in many different slokas, I am situated in everyone's heart. Dehi nosmin yata dehe kaumara javanam tata deha. What is that sloka? Many sloka. Yeah, Riddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. So in many places in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna describes himself as the Super Soul Paramatma, present everywhere in everyone's heart. And Brahma Samhita says also that everywhere, even in the inanimate things, he is also present. So otherwise, how can things can go on without the presence of the Supreme Lord? So he is transcendental, he is transcendent, and he is immanent. Some philosophers, they emphasize the point. The Lord, God is immanent. He is everywhere situated. They tend to neglect the transcendental aspect, the personal aspect of the Lord in his own abode, because they have no information. But they understand the Lord God must be everywhere. Otherwise, how everything can go on without the presence of the Supreme Lord everywhere? Every person, everything, even atoms, molecules, how they are so perfectly moving according to laws of nature. If we speak about laws of nature, the next question is whose nature it is. Nature belongs to somebody. I have my own nature, everybody has got their own nature, everything has its own nature. So to whom does it belong? That nature ultimately. Nature works on account of the presence of the Supreme Lord everywhere. So that is the Paramatma aspect of the Lord. So there is no difference between Paramatma and the Supreme Lord. Similarly, the impersonal aspect, Brahman, that is also the Mayavadis, impersonalists. They are very much after this aspect, Brahman. They consider this to be the supreme. That is everywhere, and it is not subjected to anything. It does not have any quality. It is not subject to any condition. So it is invisible. It does not have any form, no idea. So they consider this to be Brahman, to be the ultimate. In this way, they are always thinking how I will merge into the impersonal Brahman. I will finish my individual existence and I will merge into this impersonal void. Or not void, void is for the Buddhist. That's another aspect which is completely null and void, zero. So the Mayavadis, they not exactly like Buddhism. That is covert Buddhism. Covert Buddhism means not exactly, but impersonal truth. It is ultimate truth, but it is impersonal without any feature. So here, the feature which is given by this Brahmana is the aspect of Paramatma. And he's speaking like this. Paramatma is not impersonal. It is not like some inert, dead matter. He is the Supreme Lord. And according to the description given in the Upanishads, that the description is given of a tree. In the tree, there are two birds. One bird is the Paramatma, and the other bird is the Atma, the individual soul. So both are together on the same branch, but the individual bird is not conscious of the presence of Paramatma. He is looking everywhere else in the tree, and he is very much after eating the fruits of the tree. Sometimes bitter fruits, sometimes sweet. Like that, the individual bird will go around in the tree and will eat the different fruits. And he will not pay attention to the presence of the other bird, who is the Paramatma. That is the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is always there, always accompanying the individual soul. But on account of ignorance, misuse of freedom, the individual bird, individual soul does not use his freedom to turn towards the Supreme Lord and bow down and surrender himself and act in the service of the Supreme Lord. He is only busy trying to enjoy the resources of the tree. That is the description given in the Upanishad, like Katha Upanishad. So here we see this Paramatma who is appearing in front of the individual soul, the Queen Vidarbha, and he is talking. He is not inert. He is not deaf and dumb and blind. No, not like that. He has supreme knowledge. He is having past, present, future knowledge. He knows everything about all the living entities and their desire. And he is also the friend. As Lord Krishna says, that Bhuktaram Yagyatabasam Sarvaloka Maheswaram Suridam Sarvabhutanam Gyadvamam Shantim Richati. Suridam Sarvabhutanam. So he is the enjoyer of all yagyas, he is the proprietor of all planets, and he is the friend of all living entities. Suridam Sarvabhutanam. So here we see how the Paramatma, how the Supreme Lord Krishna is acting as a friend of the Queen Vaidarbhi. He comes at that time, a very critical time. She is going to leave her body in the same, accompanying the husband. But the super soul has a different idea, and he wants to give proper advice to the soul, to the queen. In this way, he is showing how much he is showing great friendship and well-wisher of the soul. He comes at that critical time when the soul is losing proper knowledge, proper discrimination. The soul, Queen Vidarbha, is in complete bewilderment. She has no idea what she can do best. She doesn't know. She thinks that now her life is finished, let me also pass away along with her husband. She cannot understand that there is a better option. That better option is given by the ever well-wisher, the Supreme Lord within the heart. But so kindly, instead of talking within the heart, he is also presenting himself in front of Queen. So he's showing so much mercy to the Queen. Generally, he is remaining within the heart. But here we see an example that the Super Soul is also showing himself outside. There are other examples. If we take Bhagavad Gita, that also can be considered as a dialogue between the soul, Arjuna, Super Soul, Krishna. Krishna is within Arjuna, but to give Arjuna the proper philosophy, the proper solution to Arjuna's problems, Arjuna is completely confused, completely bewildered at the beginning of the battle of Kurukshetra. Everything is arranged for the battle, but now he is considering that it's not good to fight in this battle, but that I should retire and go to the forest. That will be better. At that time, the Super Soul Krishna is also present in front of Arjuna, and he is going to clear all the doubts of Arjuna. He is giving the proper knowledge so that Arjuna will be again re-established in his original position as eternal servant of Krishna. So, in this way, the super soul is sometimes also showing himself. Yesterday we were celebrating the advent of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is a super soul, but sometimes he also comes out in the open and he makes himself visible to all, and he is giving the proper information, proper attitude, and a complete solution to all the problems of life. So that was the celebration yesterday. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came in this way, but at the beginning he did not show his complete power and his real identity. He came like from a very pious Brahmin family, and but he exhibited some extraordinary attitude, even though not declaring himself, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He never said that. But at the beginning, after he appeared, starting to cry, and crying constantly. So the parents, Sachimata and Jagannath Mishra, they understood, oh, why is he crying? Okay, yesterday was the eclipse of the moon. At that time, everybody from Navadvip used to go to Ganga and chant the names of Hari, Hari, Hari. That is the tradition. So another way of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in this way on this particular day and time in the evening, where everybody goes to the Ganga, take bath and chant the names of Krishna, Krishna. So that was how he started to implement his mission, the purpose for which he came to this world as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even hiding himself, but from beginning, started to implement his mission somehow or other. And by crying, then parents thought, oh, they started to chant Hari, Hari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Ram, Hare. So as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was hearing these names of Krishna, then he pacified. He stopped crying. Again crying after some time, again chanting Hare Krishna, like that was the method. So he introduced from the beginning the chanting of the names of Krishna simply by indirectly pushing everybody to chant Hare Krishna, the names of Krishna. That is his mission. So in many ways, he did not reveal himself, but indirectly, his mission was carried out even from the very beginning. So later on only, and especially after coming back, after taking Diksha from Iswarapuri, he was given the mantra of the names of Krishna. Then he became completely intoxicated, chanting these names, came back to Navadvip, and taking all his friends and doing the kirtan along with the friends like that, and going to different houses, and in this way spreading the vibration of the holy names of Krishna throughout Navadvip. Even then at that time, nobody could understand he is the Supreme Lord. He is Nimai Pandit, the most learned boy in Navadvip, who could defeat all the great other Pandits. He was the greatest Pandit young boy. So he displayed very different leelas, but he took some time to present himself directly as the Supreme Lord. And so then Nityananda Prabhu came. So at that time then it became very, the congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna then started very wonderfully in the association of Nityananda. So then Advaita Acharya also who was the cause for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's advent, Advaita Acharya, he called for the Supreme Lord offering puja, worship of Ganga, with the intention to bring the Supreme Lord to enlighten and to save the people from atheistic tendencies. So that was the prayer of Advaita Acharya. But even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, Advaita Acharya could not understand that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. After some time, after Nityananda Prabhu came, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Ramai, the youngest brother of Advaita, of Srivas Pandit, you go to Advaita and ask Advaita to come here. I want to see him, like that. So many leelas took place at that time. And gradually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested himself completely as the Supreme Lord. Even taking sannyas, nobody could understand he is the Supreme Lord. Only very, very few gradually, they could gradually understand. He displayed wonderful leelas in Jagannath Puri and so on. But the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that was more important than to display himself, his unlimited powers as the Supreme Lord. He has come for the main purpose to establish the Sankirtan movement, which is the Yuga Dharma for Kali Yuga. So many people may not accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even they come to our temple, they may belong to some other sampradayas. They'll tell, oh, why you are keeping Lord Chaitanya on the same level as Lord Krishna? No. He should be little below. He is a great devotee, but they don't accept him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even though Shastra is mentioning in many shastric statements are there. But they will accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes, he is a great devotee, and he is the one who started the Sankirtan movement. Oh, that is very good. Anyway, so like that, many people do not accept. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, actually, he was more concerned that everybody should accept the Sankirtan. Everybody should chant Hare Krishna, the names of Krishna. Everybody. Whether they recognize me as Krishna himself, doesn't matter. He going on his own lila, he is not so much concerned. He came to establish the Sankirtan movement. That is the primary lila, primary establishment of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Those who are very fortunate and those who are following in the Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, they are very fortunate. They also accept and worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as non-different from Lord Krishna. So that is a great fortune. Otherwise, he is like a hidden Channa avatar. Channa. He is hidden. And Krishna is also called. Some people are telling, Lord Krishna is called Tri Yuga. Lord Krishna comes only in 3 yugas. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga. He is not coming in the Kali Yuga. Therefore, it's called Tri Yuga. So, but he is also the Supreme Lord, as described in many other shastric statements. But he is Channa Avatar. So yesterday we are celebrating, and we can always remember throughout the year, constantly, every day, about the leelas and the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here we understand this Brahmana is also the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but does not reveal himself immediately, but he is talking to the queen, and he wants to know that why you are acting in such a manner. There is certainly a better option for you. So, as Prabhupada explains in the purport, that there is no difference between the Supreme Lord, who is the Paramatma, who is the Bhagavan and Paramatma, and the spiritual master. The spiritual master is the representative of the Supreme Lord. Just like you can understand that every country will have its own embassy in other countries, like you have the Indian embassy or in all the countries of the world. Similarly, all the countries have their own embassy in New Delhi, like that. So, there is no difference. Suppose you go to the embassy of Australia in New Delhi. When you enter the embassy, you open the door, you enter, you are like in Australia. All the rules and regulations, all the laws of Australia are applicable to in this particular embassy, Australian embassy. And if you commit any wrong, if you commit any offense, the ambassador is coming, wants to talk to you, and you become aggressive, and you punch him in the nose, something like that. You become aggressive. The Australia as a country will react against. You have insulted. You have done wrong in the Australian embassy. You have done wrong against the ambassador. There's no difference between the ambassador and the country itself. It is like going on a war against Australia. You have attacked the ambassador. There's no difference between the two. Like this, every country will have the same situation. And in this way, we understand it is an example, just similar to show us that the guru is also just like the ambassador. The ambassador of Goloka Vrindavan, the Supreme Personality of God is there ruling, and he's sending his representative, the spiritual master, in the material world. So our relationship between Guru Sishya is the same. We have to be very careful dealing with the spiritual master. He is the ambassador of the Supreme Lord. And if we commit any offense, then the reaction will be like offense against God himself. And if we do any seva, Guru seva, that will be appreciated with the Supreme Lord in his own abode. There is, in this way, the spiritual master is the authorized representative. So this is the mercy of the Lord. The Lord is showing so much mercy. He is within our heart, but we are not able to understand that. We are not listening. Our consciousness is outside. We are not able to see what's happening within our hearts. But outside, the Lord is so present as a spiritual master. And in as much as we please the spiritual master, as Prabhupada quotes in the purport, that Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasadaha, and Yasya prasadan nagati kutopi. The two aspects are there. If you please the spiritual master, then this is equivalent, this is equal to pleasing the Supreme Lord. And if you displease the spiritual master, then that is also, there is no question of pleasing the Supreme Lord. So we want to establish a relationship with God, and that is possible by having relationship with the spiritual master. Brahmanda Brahmite Kon Bhagavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Chaitanya Charitamrita says that we are wandering throughout the universe constantly from the beginning of creation, aimlessly going up and down throughout all the different planetary systems. But at one point, very fortunate soul, Bhagavan is very fortunately a soul, by the grace of Krishna, will be able to contact a spiritual master, will establish a relationship with a guru. And with this relationship, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. By this connection, relationship, Guru Seva, Krishna Seva, by the combined mercy of Krishna and Guru, then we get the seed of bhakti. That is the aim of life. Otherwise, there is no question of developing devotion to the Lord unless we, first of all, establish our relationship with the spiritual master. The spiritual master is sent to us. We have to recognize, we have to bow down, we have Tadvidhi Pranipatena Paripasnena Sevaya. We have to inquire from him submissively and serve him. This is by the mercy of Krishna. Krishna is sending Guru. We have to establish this relationship. And then, by the combined mercy of Guru and Krishna, we can get the seed of bhakti. And by practicing bhakti yoga, by the grace of Guru and Krishna, then we can develop that seed. It will grow, as described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, just like a tree. A tree grows gradually and develops branches and flowers and fruit. Fruit is the last ultimate representation or development of the tree. So like that, what is the fruit? The fruit is bhakti. That is the real fruit of life. So these are the considerations here. So that will be what will be the next dialogue between the two, between the super soul and the Queen Vaidarbhi, will be described later in the next slokas. Any other questions or comments? Yes. Yes.
And able to see the super soul. But in our case, how to perceive this and then how to deal? Can we see the super soul? Also, we not, as here he's saying. But how can we perceive that we can talk to our own soul?
So, as Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, that there is no difference between Guru Kripa and Krishna Kripa. So if you can please the spiritual master, that will be the same as directly contacting, engaging in relationship with the super soul. There is no difference, no difference. So that is the wonderful opportunity that we have. Just like as the example given at the beginning, I was given the embassy. You don't have to go to Australia to get some visa or something like that, no? Or to ask some favor or something dealing. You want to deal with the Australian country or the government. You simply Delhi embassy is there. Everything can be done from the embassy. You need not go to Australia. So by simply serving the spiritual master, everything will be accomplished. Everything will be available, all the mercy, because there is no difference. Guru Kripa, Krishna Kripa, both of them are together. Krishna is never alone. Krishna is accompanied by his intimate associates and other associates. He is never alone. So if you can please the spiritual master, who is eternal associate of the Lord will be 100% merciful to you. He will appreciate so much. Actually, there is a statement that Lord Krishna says, if somebody claims to be my devotee, he is not my devotee. If somebody is a devotee of my devotee, he is my real devotee. He is my devotee. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for a very wonderful class, enlightening. My question is regarding the sentence which Prabhupada is writing. Am I audible? Clearly?
Yeah.
So there Prabhupada is writing, in the absence of the spiritual master externally, super soul will guide the disciple. Like that Prabhupada is writing.
Yes.
Like in the absence of that king, super soul has come to help by that.
Yes.
So here when we are serving the spiritual master instructions in his absence, so how can we make sure we are getting our little help from super soul, or we don't know whether we are sincere enough to receive from him, or we are directed by mind, like that? How can we make sure?
That is, yes, the explanation is given that if you sincerely, completely, 100% devote yourself, surrender at the feet of the spiritual master and follow his instructions. Prabhupada quotes also from Bhagavad Gita, from the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on the shloka that Vyavasatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana bahu saka yanantasya buddhayo vyavasayinam. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was given the commentary on this, that the ekeha kuru nandana, vyavasatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana, we have to single-handedly, single-pointedly serve the spiritual master. That is the advice of the Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. So this is the formula. You are asking how can make sure that the super soul is happy with me, and what is the advice of the super soul. If you approach a bona fide spiritual master and serve him according to following his instructions very rigidly and giving satisfaction to the spiritual master, you must understand that the super soul is also satisfied. That is otherwise how can you understand? So all the facilities are given here. The super soul, Lord, the God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He is giving all facilities. He is giving so much encouragement so that everybody should have opportunity to achieve perfection of life. Those who are fortunate, they can approach in this way, Guru and Krishna. Those who are too much engrossed in sense gratification, they will not be interested. Those who are serious in self-realization to solve the problems of life, as Sanatan Goswami approaching Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who am I? What are these? Why am I suffering in this world? So these are the questions. So a person who is inquisitive in this manner, he will get the answer, either from the super soul or from the guru. In any manner, he'll get the answer. But generally, we approach a spiritual master and inquire from him how to solve the problems of life. Any other questions? Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji, for a very wonderful examples and everything. So in the last part of the translation, Prabhupada is writing here that, so you may remember that you have consulted me many times in the past. Don't you remember me? So it seems like Super Soul helps us many times and again, but we are not sincere enough or serious enough to take it up. Or in the same line as Tribhuvan Pro also mentioning. So to keep that seriousness and uh, to follow the instructions. So what should our endeavor be?
This is the nature of Jiva, forgetfulness. Arjuna is also asking Lord Krishna, how is it possible? You are telling, you spoke Bhagavad Gita, the same message to the sun god Vivaswan, there are millions of years ago. How can you say like that? Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, you were also present. You don't remember anything. I was there in front of you, in front of Vivaswan. You don't remember. So here also, Super Soul is telling, you and I, we had many times, we had conversations. You don't remember. But despite the fact that the jiva is a small, with a limited power of remembrance, how far we can remember? In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Prabhupada said, if I ask you, what did you do at the same time yesterday? Can you tell exactly? What was the lecture yesterday at this time? Or what did you at this time yesterday? You cannot remember. So how can you remember your conversation with the Paramatma in all these millions of years? But it is a fact. We had contact with the Paramatma from beginning, even before creation. But we do not remember. But fortunately, it is not hopeless. The solution is there. You approach a bona fide spiritual master, and then all knowledge will be available to you, and all the perfection will be available. That is the solution to the problem. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, present situation is that spiritual master will be, suppose example, spiritual master is in Mayapur, and the disciples will be all over the world. Anyway, they can be anywhere in the world. They are not at all in touch personally. They are not at all in. It's not possible for them to be in touch with him physically. They cannot see him also. But at this moment, can we take Siksha Guru as the representative of spiritual master?
The question is, if somebody cannot meet a spiritual master, yes, not possible to meet him because different circumstances, he cannot meet a spiritual master. But Lord Krishna is always there present in the heart. Yes, and if that person is inquisitive, yes, and he really wants to perfect his life, he wants to improve his life, he wants to achieve perfection. If this is a person has that inquisitiveness and he is in this way, even though he may be lost, but he will not be lost forever. He will have the opportunity to take birth in a particular family. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, those who have fallen down from the path of self-realization, they'll get the opportunity. They'll be born in a very exalted family, aristocracy of Brahmin family, spiritual, as Prabhupada himself took birth, no, in a very great Vaishnava family. He got opportunity to resume
devotion,
his spiritual life, even though apparently it was lost. So by the grace of Krishna, Krishna is always there, and he gives opportunity to everyone. Therefore, Surinam Sarva Bhutanam. He is a friend of everyone. Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.